Welcome back to my channel, my people. Something shocking happened yesterday in court, the 23rd of October 2025. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu opted to defend himself in court. So because of that, all other advocates handling his case officially withdrew from his case. And the court ordered all other lawyers who previously appeared for the case to leave the courtroom. Watch this video to the very end to see what happened in court. And if you've not subscribed to this channel yet, please do well to click the subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to drop your comments. Thank you.
Today, Sowore has been arrested by the Nigeria Police Force. And you would ask, why was he arrested? It is very simple. The 13 people that were arrested previously all gave their statements, and there is a constant in all of their statements. Every one of them mentioned that one Omoyele Sowore led them into the restricted area in contravention of the court order. So it would be most unfair to charge some people to court and leave the person that led them to commit that more like their leader, the lead protester who told them and took them into the restricted area. And that's why in the spirit of fair play and to ensure that justice is served, Omoyele Sowore was arrested today, and like the other story, he wouldn't spend time with us. He wouldn't spend up to 24 hours with us. Once we wrap up the charges, he's going to be prosecuted. In fact, if everything goes right, our plan is to ensure that he is prosecuted today. He goes to court today. About the Nnamdi Kanu protest and what's the latest on it, you would remember that 8 people were arrested on Monday in the Transcorp area of Abuja. They were arrested because they contravened the court order that restricted movement within those areas. Despite several warnings to them not to move into the restricted area, they charged headlong into the area, and like we warned 2 days before the protest in our statement that anybody that contravened the order would be arrested and prosecuted. So, like one, we actually got them arrested, and 5 others around the Ministry of Finance, also within the restricted area, bringing them to 2013. And they were arraigned the very next day. They didn't spend up to 24 hours in our custody. They were arraigned the very next day, and they've been remanded.
Thank you very much, and good day to all lovers of freedom. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am one of the lawyers to Mazi Kanu. Today being the 23rd of October 2025, Mazi Kanu opted to defend himself in open court. Processes had been filed and motions had been moved. So he filed a motion challenging the jurisdiction of the court. And after the motion was moved by himself, according to what we heard, because when he asked that he would defend himself, the judge directed or ordered that all his lawyers who had appeared with him or for him before now should leave the courtroom. So we all left, except the senior advocates of Nigeria, who my lord ordered to sit back, and they sat back. So, but we left as directed by court. And Mazi Kanu, as we later heard, moved the motion which he filed by himself, challenging the jurisdiction of the court. I understand that the court insisted that he has jurisdiction and continued to hear the matter. We also were informed that he raised the issue of his medical certificate of fitness issued by the Nigerian Medical Association. He drew the attention of the court to the fact that the Nigerian Medical Association issued a certificate of fitness on the 23rd of September 2025, whereas the court made an order for the Nigerian Medical Association to do that report on the 26th. So we noticed that the medical report came long before the order of court was made. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's position is that that medical report is not the one ordered by the court, and that the medical report is corrupted. But because on the last date before today, when we appeared in court and that medical report was tendered, the lawyers, we didn't object to that medical report. Possibly it's an oversight, I think. And so my lord said that since he had ruled on that medical report, he is found official, he can no longer go back to that medical report, and ordered him to go ahead to present his defense. We understand also that Dr. Mazi stood up and intervened as a friend of court and requested my lord to grant Mazi some time to reflect and maybe constitute another team of lawyers that will lead his defense team. So be that as it may, the case is still on. It's adjourned to tomorrow, 24th October 2025. Hopefully we'll be around. If the court permits us to come inside, we'll come inside, but if not, then we'll just hang around and try to get information as to what transpired. So as of today, Nnamdi Kanu has briefed us as his lawyers for this particular case, not for all cases, but for this particular case. So hopefully by tomorrow, he might have to reconstitute another team. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, yeah. My name is Prince Elias Odemena. I am the convener of the Igbo Union in the country Igbo. Please, I want to debunk the stories going around the town because of the protest Sowore, a Yoruba man, called. They say that the Igbos abandoned Nnamdi Kanu. That is a false statement. We, the Igbos, we are 100% behind our brother, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Nnamdi Kanu is a reaction to genuine grievances. Ndi Igbo, since the end of the Civil War, has proven to be the testing ground for all the madness that afflicts Nigeria. What was once restricted strictly for the Igbos have now been democratized for everybody. The Nigerian citizen is essentially a Biafran. The question to ask is this: why is Nnamdi Kanu agitating, and why is he supported by the rank and file of Ndi Igbo? A lot of people are unhappy with his methodologies, yes, but there has been nobody who has been able to come out to credibly challenge the genuineness of the grievances that he's fighting for, or rather fighting against. Let us be clear. We can bellyache about his methods from now till kingdom come, and I have been very vocal in condemning his method, but nobody in their right mind can argue against the fact that Ndi Igbo, just like every other Nigerian who is not a member of the ruling class, has been seriously marginalized in Nigeria and is not even treated decently like a human being. So if we want to talk about the criminalities that has also affected that struggle, let me remind you that it is in this country that we started hearing how Asari Dokubo has been contracted by certain states to act and bear arms on behalf of the Nigerian state. He said as much inside the council chamber of the Nigerian state in Aso Rock at the beginning of Tinubu's regime when he was there vibrating. We don't even know and cannot say for sure whether this madness can be traced directly to Nnamdi Kanu and his cohort. I am not his lawyer. I'll let his lawyer undo that. But the fact is this: there is no way to say with certainty that state-sponsored actors are not equally involved in the madness that has overtaken the Southeast. And if you are going to deal with that madness, you would have to go to the root. What is causing the grievances? What is at the root of the grievances? What is it that the Igbo man is complaining about? Why is it that this place has remained in turmoil? If it's just about Nnamdi Kanu, it will be over. You've had him locked up for like 3 years, and even before then, he was mostly on the run. So the point is, take away the grievances, and the agitations will dry up. As long as the headlines persist, the fingernail will remain blood-stained. That is a reality. Nnamdi Kanu might not be to your taste, but you should ask yourself, and I'm saying this to everybody who might have reason to have quarreled with him, as I have, why is his agitation resonating with his people? Because it is true. So if the Nigerian state is interested in dealing with the criminalities and everything, let it go first to the root of the problem, the inequitable treatment of Nigerians. It is just unfortunate that the Igbo man is the one we are speaking about, but there is nothing that hails him today that does not hail each and every Nigerian regardless of where they are. It is inequity that is at the root of everything.
Well, he had discussions with the legal team yesterday, and all of us were shocked when we came to court, and the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation previous, Kanu Agabi, announced to the court that himself and the legal team, especially those of the Inner Temple, are withdrawing. And the judge also was shocked and asked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu about it, and he concurred that for now that he would take charge of his defense. Doesn't mean that if tomorrow an opportunity arises that lawyers will not also be part of it. So, but for today, probably tomorrow, he would take charge of his defense. So that's what happened in court. And
were you surprised?
I was pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly or shocked?
Well, surprised and shocked at the same time, in terms that none of us knew about it. I came to court, just like I've always done, attend the court hearings and all this stuff, and I sat there listening. I kept making the contributions. It's just between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the prosecution team and the defense team, and the judge. So as of today, the lawyers have virtually stood down. Whether they have given Mazi Nnamdi Kanu his case files, I do not know. But when you go to section 36(6)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which are actually a crucial provision towards fair hearing, specifically to persons who are charged with criminal or capital offenses, is the constitutional right of Mr. Kanu to decide to take over the defense of his own case. It is also his constitutional right that adequate time and facilities be provided for him to ensure that to ensure that he has adequate defense.
Yeah, but I don't think the issue is whether or not I mean, I think everybody knows he's got constitutional that right, which is why the judge allowed it. But the question is, what's the thinking behind it? I mean, you know things aren't going well when you fire the people who are supposed to protect and represent you in a trial, don't you? I mean, did it appear to you to be an act of sort of visceral rage, impulsive, chaotic purge that wasn't well thought out? Or do you think he thought it out?
If you look at the statements made by the leadership, Agabi Kanu, he said after the meeting they had yesterday that the information was told them that they were going to be debriefed and that they respect the rights of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
No, I understand that, but I'm
so
trying
if there was anything
to
that
get
happened,
to the backstory.
No, that's what I'm saying. But if there was anything that happened otherwise at that meeting, I was not in that meeting. I only showed up.
But I mean, you would have heard things. I mean, you talked to him.
No, really.
You guys normally hug each other at the end of the trial. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
yeah.
we sat close. But
did he whisper anything into
No, but at the end of the day,
something?
he was actually, he was actually led through the judge's chambers to be evacuated back from the Federal High Court to the detention center. So we didn't have enough time to discuss in court. To say, because he's often brought to court 10 minutes to 9, and the judge comes out exactly about 9 dot. So there wasn't that much of a time beyond the camaraderie and the
I mean, we obviously saw the statement. I was actually hoping that we would hear that clip from the lawyers,
from the
because they
lawyers.
made a public statement,
yes.
which has been run on a rise
Yes,
sort of
yes,
several times today.
yes.
But I mean, is there anything beyond that public statement that that might have said perhaps out of camera to you?
No, nothing yet. I've yet to be informed otherwise.
Right.
You know, but I know that tomorrow he may be meeting with some of the current legal team that were debriefed.
Right.
Maybe possible some additional members of the legal team to go forward, at least to have some people
right.
who will surround him and be giving him legal advice where necessary, and the authorities that he will need to proceed with the defense of his case.
Right.
But what we are saying, crucially, Charles, is that Section 36(6)(b) is essential, that it appears that the government is rushing his defense by giving him 5 days. He's already made known to the court, and the court has given summons to 23 witnesses. He will need to spend time to discuss with those witnesses, and where those witnesses are not compliant, to ensure that the court compels them through subpoena to come and testify in court as to their knowledge of events from the time he was arrested to the time he was extraordinarily renditioned, and from the time the trials also began 5-6 years ago. So if you're going to rush, the prosecution has had more than 10 years to prepare for this matter. They have arraigned him on several charges, withdrew several charges, and rearraigned him. They've had adequate time to present their case, and they have rested their case. The defense also requires adequate time to be able to present their case. You cannot say in a capital offense, a criminal trial that has so many significance, not just for jurisprudence, but the social and security dynamics in Nigeria, that Nnamdi Kanu is expected that is within 5 days to be able to put a defense. If you're going to railroad him, just like the court in their determination, court says he does not verily believe that access to lawyers at the DSS facilities may be videoed, may be eavesdropped. So he agreed for 3 hours. That was yesterday's meeting, for himself and his lawyers to meet at the judges at the court, Court 7 specifically. But if you go to Court 7, there are video cameras, opportunities to also eavesdrop. I'm not saying that his lordship was in his chamber, but what if he was in chamber? Who else was in chamber with him to eavesdrop on the discussions between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his lawyers?
Well, they would argue that he's getting all rather paranoid now.
No, it's not. No, if you agreed that because of electronic cameras and audio equipment and all the stuff in DSS would not be adequate for him to have concrete discussions with his lawyers in the defense of his case, and you're moving him from DSS to his court. But the court itself is also...
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the judge has more confidence in the court than the DSS facility.
Well, it's not...
So that's...
No, he moved the matter from the DSS facility to the court.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hoping that the court will be an adequate place.
Yeah, that's
but
what
the
I'm saying.
same court...
He obviously has more confidence
absolutely,
in the
but then the same court has the same issues as it would be at the DSS. The court is also wired electronically.
Yeah, but maybe the judge, because he's a judge in that court. I mean, I'm just speculating. Has more control and more access to that kind of material.
So what if the judge was eavesdropping on his conversations with his lawyers? Would that not also affect? Would that not also affect the way and manner, the perception that he sees with the
well, I mean,
case?
that's purely
and
speculative.
would also lead to bias?
Yeah.